Now, another thing I talked about what I felt in high school. Does anyone know? I know there's a lot of different kids. There's different races here. There's black kids. There's Spanish kids. There's white kids, and basically there's all different types of race. And there's differences. You come from different backgrounds. Does anyone ever feel different because of that? Sometimes. Well, it's possible, and that could cause, and all these things contribute to why we feel different ways, correct? Okay, I'm going to take the silence as a yes. Hey, I got a smile. I know it's hard. This is tough stuff. This is not easy stuff. I'm evoking emotions, right? I'm making you feel different things that you may not have thought about before. But this is very important, because again, and I'm going to say this over and over again, all the stuff on this is not surprising. Nothing here is going to surprise you. Maybe the statistics, maybe the fact that HIV is the third leading cause of death in New York. Did you know that? Not the ones that were here last week. Did you know that? And did you know that New York City is the highest city, highest percent? We have higher percentage rate than any other city in North America. Not in the world. Of course, Africa has some very high numbers too. We all know that. But New York City. And where do we live? Do they know where they live? Where do you live? Thank you. So this is what is happening in your school. This is what's happening in our city. Yes. Oh, we want the assistant. Okay. Stand up. Come. No, they're talking. They're okay.
So that play totally brought back memories of when I was in high school, because I'm not much younger than Rick, so AIDS was like everywhere when I was growing up, and a teenager and a young adult. And I had some friends in high school, but the person I talked to the most, and who kind of, you know how you have a grown-up that's not your parent that sort of helps you through things sometimes? So this guy was younger than my parents, but older than me. And and back then, it was hard to say that you were gay. And I didn't even know he was gay, but he was. And he struggled a lot, and he kept it quiet. And he was my confidant. He was the person I went to when I did bad stuff and didn't want to tell my parents, so I told him. And then I found out he was gay, and then I found out that he had AIDS. And he was a very successful architect and interior designer, and he had all these famous friends, like really like actresses that I met and stuff, but he slowly got very, very sick. But I was a lot like the girl in the play who's sort of like wants to have sex so that she feels, valued. And I definitely did not have safe sex. And I consider myself, and somebody at the end says to the girl who says, well, I don't have anything, and because I'm smart, and the other girl says, well, no, it's because you're lucky. And I really, especially after my confidant died, and he was young, he must have been in his late 30s, and he was really successful, and he died. And to this day, I miss him, and I consider myself lucky every day, because I could have so easily, especially at that point in the history of AIDS, I could have so easily gotten AIDS. I can't believe I didn't. So I feel very blessed, but I also feel like luck is not the answer, and any one of you, could have been like me and not been lucky. So it's just it isn't, I think what Rick said in the beginning about it not being gone is really important. It's not, like, we don't hear so much about it. Like when I was, in the 70s and 80s, when I was much younger, you heard about it all the time. Now you don't so much, but it's there, and it's a killer. And I wouldn't want to have any of you get sick, so just don't make the same mistake I did, because it was a mistake, even though I was lucky. And I appreciate Rick.
Thank you. Just 1 second. I just wanted to tell you something. I'm leaving. My actors and I are going, but she's going to be here, okay? And see, she's willing to listen, right? You're willing if they, and this school, of course, no. And
Now, some of the students don't go to Heritage, but there are people there too that in their schools that listen.
right, in every school, there's one person, and there's someone in this school
And there are
that
many
gives out
people in
condoms.
this school, yeah.
There's also someone that gives
you
out
can get
condoms. And I think your parents have signed permission slips for it, and it's here. And if you ever have, if you have concerns, like if you feel you did something wrong, a mistake happened, and you want to get tested to ease your mind, that can be arranged, correct? So it's here. But as I said, we're leaving, but there's resources in this school. What I've learned since I've been doing this since last January, that the schools really do care. I mean, when I was a kid, it didn't seem that they did, but they are. There's bureaucratic stuff. Of course, it seems difficult at times, but the truth is that the people in these schools, they're here because they want to help. They want to be teachers. They want to help. So they're believe it or not, they want to help you. So if you have a question, you can come to them and talk. And see, she's identified. She told you.
I'm so not judgmental. Like, it's not like I'm going to tell people not to have sex, because I have an 18-year-old son, and I can't tell him not to have sex. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Don't tell anybody I said that.
And I'm telling you, all I said about, we promote abstinence because it's the only way to ensure that you don't get HIV. But in reality is that you most likely, if you're going to have sex, practice safe sex. And no one's going to judge you for it. The schools are willing to understand that and give you condoms. So that's a reality. So anyone else have something to say? Does anyone want to have a question? Maybe I said something wrong that you want me to correct. Does anyone have a question for the actresses and actors? They worked very hard. Can we give them a hand? They're all professionals, by the way, and as I am now, but they're all professionals. They all are trying to make a living off of acting. So God bless them, and they're very good. They work very hard. And I've seen them in other shows, most of them, or at least 3 of them there, I've seen in other shows, and they all did incredible. So basically, my message is, it's here. AIDS is still here. HIV is still here. And I want you guys to be safe. If one guy or girl in this room, from hearing us today, hearing my story, seeing the play, hearing the principal, assistant principal speak, gets a message of possibility to make the right choice, then I've succeeded. Because that's all this is about. We want to give you the education. This is not a joke anymore. I mean, every year the numbers for your age group have increased. As I said, it looks like it's almost doubling, not quite, from I think one section to the next section of 2007. The statistics are about 6 months to a year behind. So it's happening. A lot of kids in your age group are getting HIV. And it's a life-challenging illness. And eventually, maybe there will be a cure, but there isn't a cure now. The medications, believe me, I take the medications. It's not fun. I take a handful of medications at night, a whole handful, and I have to drink 5 glasses of water with them. And it's not fun. And sometimes I get gas, I get diarrhea, I get a lot of things from medications. And who knows? I'm healthy now. Yes, I cycle. I travel all over the world. I have a great life. But I still have a life-challenging disease. And that's something that I don't wish on anybody in this room. So I'm going to sit right here for a few minutes. And does anyone have any questions individually that you felt uncomfortable after the camera's gone? And I think you've been a great audience. I think this microphone might have scared you a little bit. But some people asked some good questions, and I appreciate that. And you were a good audience. And I want you to applaud yourselves for just sitting here so